I went to a Korean spa.
Oh my god, I'm fucking jealous.
Wait.
Holy shit.
A naked one.
Wait. Okay. I mean, I guess I am still jealous, but not for that reason.
No, I don't know how I feel about it.
Wait.
So,
Bridget,
hold on. Wait, for any local folks that are in the Chicagoland area, it's a famous place called, like, King's Spa Salon. If anyone's from that area, they'll know exactly what it is. It's a 24-hour, like, spa that breaks apart, like, dudes, and they have naked area, women, and they have naked area, and then this, like, shared area that's a bunch of crazy shit, like meditation rooms and crystals and, like,
shared naked?
A movie theater. No shared naked.
No shared naked.
Then we put on, like, clothes.
Okay,
like,
okay.
They give you a uniform.
Oh.
But Katie.
What kind?
Katie, I've heard
like
about
a
this
school
place.
kid uniform? What do you mean?
Like big baggy shorts and like a big t-shirt, like you're like Helga from Hey Arnold.
That's literally like a school gym uniform.
It was bizarre.
Is this a cult? What do you mean?
Maybe I joined a cult.
Jesus, Bridge, read the fine print.
I heard that it was naked and I was always nervous to go. And then, I think I told you I had, like, a sitter, but James was out of town, so I was like, oh, shoot, what do I do? And I'm like, I'm gonna go to this effing spot.
Gotta go get naked.
I'm just gonna go see if I could do it by myself. I would never go with anyone because I'm too nervous. And so you get there, and right away you're like, well, now it's weird because I'm the clothed one, and everyone's naked.
Hey,
and so then you're like, okay, I'll get naked. And then the first 5 seconds you're like, I hate this. And then all of a sudden everyone's naked and you don't think about it.
Why is there other people? Like, what are you all doing naked
So then
together?
there's hot tubs. There's hot tubs and spas
that
everyone does naked. And then I signed up for a massage, which I thought was somewhere else. But oh no, Katie. They're literally on tables next to everything. So you're butt-ass naked. Wow. Someone gives you a massage next to someone else butt-ass naked. Looking at other butt-ass naked people in a hot tub.
Near the hot tub. Wow. Well.
And because it was Korean, you could imagine a lot of Korean people work there. And this little Korean woman, I'm not kidding you, Katie, jumped on my fucking back like a spider and massaged me. And I was so naked.
It was probably good.
It was
a good
massage?
massage?
The massage, I got a scrub and a massage and some weird face thing. And a hair thing where I thought she was going to rip out my hair.
Okay, I've heard of the hair stuff. That it's like crazy.
It was amazing, but also I was like, I'm getting the shit kicked out of me. Naked, next to some other naked lady.
Oh my God.
Looking at other naked ladies. And I was so thrown off, but also it felt good, but also it was confusing. And then I thought, are we like prudes in the US and I need to just like grow up? Maybe. Or also, is this actually insane? You know?
I do.
What are your thoughts?
I'm thinking of what is the name of the like hidden, what is that? The hidden baths place?
Oh,
remember the one
Air,
where it's like indoor baths and
but people have bathing suits.
No,
That's
I
what
know
I was
they
used
do,
to.
but for some reason I'm just envisioning like what would it be like being there where they were naked and like there's a lot of like you gotta get up and move around a lot.
Yeah.
And like
okay,
that's the part I think would be weird. I don't mind sitting like stationary in a hot tub because there's at least like some bubbles, but when I gotta like get up and start walking around, like I gotta lift a leg. That's an angle that people might not like, and me, you know, like that's just some.
Well,
wow.
Okay. The lady, I was like nervous also to slip because I was like, that's so gross to like the bottom
to
of
face palm naked in front of everyone else.
Yeah, I don't. And so she grabbed my wrist and like literally pulled me places. Because at some point she's like, okay, your scrubbing's done, go shower. And she like pulled my wrist to the shower.
Get
and
the
I thought,
fuck in there.
Are they all laughing at me, or is this how they're all treated? And I kind of love it, I don't. And then to make you laugh even harder, her name was Mary, which made me think of our sister Mary. And I was like, wow, this is aggressive.
Now I'm just envisioning Mary jumping on your back like a Spider-Man. And
yeah. But they have like a restaurant, so
oh my God.
You could just like, you know, I don't know.
Not naked though.
All in all, I would give it a great review. But
yeah.
my own nervousness about being like naked in a public place, I was like, that's a new experience.
That's new. That's a new one.
That's a bucket list that I was like, I'm going to be butt-ass naked with all these strangers. But I guess it's what adults do.
It's reminding me of the Sex and the City episode where for whatever reason they all like a lot like to go hang out naked in the sauna, and it's like a plot point, and you're like, wait, guys, why are you in there so long like that? Like, that's a lot.
I was like, there's certain friends that I'd be like, hey, do you want to go to this spot? And they'd be like, hell yeah, and they'd rip off their clothes and not care. And then I have other friends like me where we would be like, imagining we're wearing clothes. Like, how do we get through this?
Don't make eye contact. Was anyone talking to each other? Like, how was the hot tub vibe?
Friends were talking.
Okay.
And then there would be, like, a single loner like me, and all we did was look at the ground, because it was weird. But then, I'm going to be honest with you, there's also a bunch of naked bodies, so you're like, well, that's an interesting body, and that's an interesting body.
People got different bodies.
It's very, like, body accepting, because you start to see real people, and not, like, the movies.
Or, like, porn, right.
Or porn. Yeah. And I literally was just like, wow, everyone is, like, such a unique, lovely, like, no body looks the same, you know? It was very, like, huh.
That's kind of nice.
It was kind of nice, but then I, like, immediately looked at the ground.
But then
I'm
it's
so sorry I
looked
at you. I'm so sorry I looked at your butt. But wow, that's a butt. That's a different butt, and that's a different butt, and that's a different butt.
So many butts. Oh,
what
boy.
What a weird way to start a podcast, you know?
Woo! Okay, well, I don't know. I'll go there, but...
I saved that story for you, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Sisters who've seen it. We are the sisters who've seen it. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, sisters who've seen it.
Hello.
You've got mail.
Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
You've got mail, folks.
Oh, yes, we do.
And it's this movie.
We've got a product placement. Welcome back, listeners. Thanks for coming in the inbox. Welcome, welcome.
How are we doing?
How are you? How's your screen name? I don't know.
Well, if you listen to our Pen 15 episode, you learn all about our screen names.
We do talk about our screen names in there. That's so funny. Oh my god, that was AOL too.
Katie, what are we talking about? Who are we? What movie? What's happening?
All right, well, I'm not going to introduce our screen names. You can go listen to the Pen 15 Nostalgic Happy Hour episode, but I will introduce ourselves. Listeners, we are the Sisters Who've Seen It. The podcast where two sisters who are not movie critics look back on some of our favorites throughout the years through a psychological, ethical, and familial lens. I'm Katie.
I'm Bridget.
I feel like I want to just do the fucking AOL noise again.
I wanted it to be you. I hoped it was you.
Is that where you cried? Oh no, that was a moment.
Meg Ryan.
Meg had feelings. Bridge, what's the movie this week?
It is from 1998.
Woo!
Via a listener pick. Yeah. Hello, Mel.
Mel,
we love
you son of a bitch.
I hope you have a glass of wine. Taking those Nashville heels up, and you listen and party with us. This is for you.
Probably got some burr. Yeah.
Some burr? Some beer? I was beer. Like, bourbon?
Wait, did you see the movie title? I blacked out. Did you say it?
You've got mail.
You got mail. Did you do the AOL noise yet?
I'm so sorry.
You've got mail.
Okay.
Wow.
I know that you know that it's your synopsis.
It is. Fuck me. God damn it. You know why it's god damn it? Because, guys, this movie was written by Nora Ephron. We love to see her. We had her in The Holiday, which is the best. Like burn Love Actually while you watch The Holiday, because that's the only way to do it. And then we also had her in Harry Met Sally. And Nora loves to write scripts that are stories that take place over long periods of time.
They're books.
Like how when Harry Met Sally was literally decades of a script. And this movie is not decades, but it's a lot. So, okay, so here we go. Also, confession, I think this was the first time I saw this movie. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My only thing that really freaked me out when watching this movie, it did a lot of predictions about the internet. 1998.
Yeah.
Okay, so, like, it was a little...
This was pre-Y2K.
On the nose.
Yeah.
It was a little on the nose on what is the consequence of all this technology.
Yeah.
And I got a little freaked out at moments. I was like, God damn it. Like, we think we're original. Just everyone just deal with the same stupid problems.
Yeah.
And it just recycles. Oh, yeah, that's history.
I also felt like this movie might have predicted the Ashley Madison website because I was like, oh no, why am I thinking of that? I know why I'm thinking of that and I hate it. And this is terrible. But all right.
Wait a second. Okay. So he's just watching it as a kid and he's like, I will make that
it's
my
like,
own idea.
People want to cheat on their wives all the time.
Cheaters.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the funniest part. I'm like, what a cute rom-com. It's like, what? Two fucking affairs. How did they make us rally around affairs?
Two affairs and a small business closed.
Like, horrifying.
There's a lot. Okay.
It's hard to date, man.
Okay. Oh God, is it? Okay. All right. I'm gonna not speak to yet how this movie has every fucking famous people you've ever fucking known in your life.
Wait, surprise this one. What was your biggest surprise? Go.
James Chappelle.
Dave?
I blacked out. I fell on the sidewalk.
If we make a Sisters Who Seen It trivia and we say, what movie is Dave Chappelle in, and list You Got Mail, no one's picking that.
Nobody's picking that.
That's a bonus question in trivia.
I would have picked it.
When he showed, I did a double take. I was like, that's fucking Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, so we will get to them because literally every character it felt like was somebody famous. So we'll get there.
No, honestly, I'm looking at the picture. I'm sorry. But like, people need to Google the cast. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. But basically the premise of the movie, our two main characters, we have Meg Ryan, who is Kathleen, what's her, Kennedy?
Kathleen Kelly.
Kelly. Oh my God, Kathleen Kennedy is like a fucking producer for Disney. I'm so sorry. Kathleen Kennedy. And then we have Joe Fox, who is...
Oh my God.
Tom Hanks. Here's the thing, guys. You know, when you think Tom Hanks, you think he's so silly, he's so great, he's wholesome, he's always smiling, he's gonna make me giggle. And he does that, but he's actually the bad guy, I would argue, in this movie. And I kind of loved it. I was like, I love the range. I love it.
You were going there.
Didn't expect him to be the, like, asshole, but he kind of is, like, the asshole for some of it, and maybe all of it, but, you know, yeah. So,
do you think that's, like, karma from playing Forrest Gump, you know?
Oh, maybe. From
like
his
he was
Oscar.
like
I gotta get another.
I was thinking, like, I should do something so different, you know?
Right.
Like, my karma of playing... Anyways, keep going.
I can't think of any other fucking... Maybe except Woody from Toy Story, who, like, is not always great, you know? But anyway, so Meg Ryan's character owns a small business. It's like a children's bookstore. Super cutesy. Super antique. It's in the West Village? I didn't live in New York. Upper West Side. You know that place, everyone. She somehow can afford a brownstone. Don't ask questions. Don't look into her taxes. You know, like, it's fine. Here we go. She is dating a guy. He is also a famous actor. We'll get to it. I'm not going to dive into that now. But, like, they're kind of weird and he's quirky and you're like, that's silly. And you quickly find out she is chit-chatting on AOL! America Online! Y'all know America
It's such a cheater movie! What a bizarre movie.
Product placement movie of the century. She is emailing with a man she hopes and is correct about that she met in a chat room. She doesn't know him in real life. This is Stranger Danger 101, people. And they are just, like, sending cute little emails, and she's, like, definitely like, ooh, I'm into him, and, like, how was your day, and here's my day, blah, blah, but she doesn't know who he is. We fucking find out that it's Tom Hanks, and Tom Hanks, in his real life, also has his own girlfriend. He is, like, a millionaire, something, and his family owns these, like, bookstores that are basically knockoff Barnes & Noble, and or... they're the, you know, Barnes & Noble substitute. And so he's building one of those, and it's right across the street from her little bookshop, and he doesn't know her, she doesn't know him, and he's like, we're gonna be the bookstore on the block, and like, whatever, that one will go out of business, and who cares? And then she's obviously like, oh no, my business, like, fuck this person. They kind of meet. They don't like each other because they find out who each other is, and then it's like, you know, tee-hee, silly. And then at one fucking point, because AOL, you know, like, it's just, we gotta keep going back to AOL, guys. One of them is like,
Chat rooms.
Let's go meet up. Let's do, like, guys, I mean, anyone who has online dating PTSD, which is a lot of us, like, you're like, oh no, here's the moment, and it's so fucking funny to hear them list off, like, what if they're not who they say they are? What if I'm, like, catfished? What if they look like this? What if they think I'm, like, ugly? Like, all the insecurities. And you're like, oh, no, it's so real. But Tom Hanks is the one who realizes, like, oh, no, the person I've been emailing is this lady that I'm basically pushing out of business. And he doesn't fucking tell her. And instead does psychological warfare.
Oh, horrifying.
Disgusting psychological warfare where
Horrifying.
he's like, you know, teasing her, taunting her, and then he just keeps showing up where she's around. Her fucking business goes under. Her dead mother's business. I don't know how else to emphasize
That's
how
it. That's
bad that is. Goes under because of him. She's sad. Her and her boyfriend break up, thank God. Him and his girlfriend break up, thank God. And they keep emailing, even though she thought, you know, the email guy stood her up, but then he has some dumbass excuse. It's just like online dating, guys. You all know it. You all know the story. You all know the script.
Same story, different year.
Same story,
1998.
different year. Tom Hanks, you're not emailing him. And he just, I don't know, somehow they become friends, but it's not like Harry Met Sally friendship. It's kind of like Love Actually friendship, where you're like, uh-oh, you just became friends 5 minutes ago. But then, in the end, because the end happens, like, really quickly after that, he admits who he is. They meet up, the email friends, it's like, let's meet up, and she connects, like, oh my god, it's him. And they make out. And that's it.
They're in love then.
Yeah? Question mark? It ain't Harry Met Sally. A guy? Alright, we do a little,
So it would be
Zoom relationship
like an
here.
Etsy seller meets Jeff Bezos. Like, it was just a
honestly.
weird,
Oh,
weird,
God.
weird
It's
vibe.
On AOL, nonetheless. Jesus.
Felt the feels, though.
Well, okay.
I felt
Where
a lot
were you
of feels.
feeling?
Okay. In my
Tell-
heart.
I'm lost.
In my
Tell me
head.
where.
In my belly. In my
Okay.
body. What I felt the feels for was both there's like a lot of hope and loss. And there's a lot of big scary corporations and
memes.
yes, big scary corporations
Yeah.
doing things. And then you're seeing this weird thing, like in this movie, it's a time capsule of like Barnes and Noble takes over.
Barnes and
But then we know Barnes and Noble like is not as hot now, and just this kind of ever evolving. Sometimes it's like on two hands. On the one hand, you're like, wow, they just crushed your bookstore, and now like people would probably pay like $50 for like a cool vintage bookstore in New York.
Oh yeah.
And yet, you know, it starts Barnes and Noble, then goes out of business.
My first thought was
cared.
like,
I don't know.
My first thought was like, Meg Ryan, all you need to do is like get some like witch shit in your bookstore, and you're golden, girl. Like
you're
you
a
ain't.
millennial's dream.
There will be a niche, you know, audience for that. They'll keep coming. You know, Barnes and Noble doesn't have the animal bones. Okay.
Yeah. So
you
felt no feels?
Okay, I did feel feels about
Is this like our
the
life?
hope. The hope aspect did get
Yeah.
to, because there was a line I wrote down closer to like, I don't know, I think it was the end of the movie. I have it written down, but do we want to start at the beginning? Because Bridge the Beginning, well, it does start with beep boop bops and typing. And it is a Microsoft Paint screensaver.
So, kiddos, back in the day, we would dial up to the internet. But yeah, they would literally phone call the internet. And so you're like dialing and hearing the dial numbers. Then you're hearing the ringing. Then it would do this weird connection noise. And then it was like, if you open it, and I remember this feeling when you would open your mail and it would say, you got mail.
You got mail.
They did hit on something insane. That's how you knew technology was so fucked up.
Yeah.
Is like, I remember being so excited for that feeling.
Yeah.
And like, if you're a certain age, you resonate and you're like, oh no, it's still doing it today. TikTok has me obsessed with my phone.
It is just really fucking funny because, like, they don't, I mean, most of this movie doesn't have, like, CGI, but this part, boy, did it try to have CGI, and, you know, it's fine. But yeah, we right away meet our characters. We meet Meg Ryan. Yeah. She's dating, so she is dating, her boyfriend's name is Frank, but he's a famous actor. His name is Greg Kinnear. You all
Everyone
know
knows
him.
Greg Kinnear.
You fucking know him.
Who, can we talk about, as we introduce these characters, a little bit about their personality? He was a trip.
I mean,
like, what did you think of him?
I thought he was like a guy who would really love Twitter in the future. Like, I was like, this is many men on Twitter. Like, I know he's complaining about technology, but like, I promise you, Frank, you're gonna be into it.
You're gonna be real into it.
Because he just had a lot of think pieces about society and technology, and I don't know. And then at one point he's like talking about like politics, and like he's like, I'm a Republican. And I was like, of course you are, Frank. Okay.
He was so weird because he was basically in love with himself versus her. Mm-hmm. However, he was also very supportive of her, right? She was like, can you write about the store and try to help save it?
Yeah.
And he was like, I'll crush it. And then the irony is then like the anchor that's interviewing him as he's talking about like her bookstore. He's like flirting with her. I'm like, you're such a man right now. Like,
yep. Yeah.
So he was weird, but Greg Kinnear is very likable to me, so I still didn't hate him.
Yeah,
but his character was annoying.
We did have him in Little Miss Sunshine, y'all. That we did an episode on that as well, with his 10-step or whatever step program that was fucking bullshit. This guy probably would have signed up for that program.
He was definitely signed up for that.
My God. But we, again, pretty quickly, it's like, Meg Ryan secretly is emailing an AOL man because Greg Kinnear leaves, I guess, her apartment, which is like a beautiful brown. It's like insane. Like, there's no way. And then she's like peeking out the window, like, is he really gone? Tee-hee-hee, let me log on to AOL, which I was like, that's so funny that she's like a grown-ass woman because, I mean, definitely when I was like 13, where it's like, I'm gonna sneak downstairs, tee-hee-hee, go on AOL at like 10:30, crazy! No one's gonna know. But she's a lady.
I thought that was weird too, because I was thinking to myself, why would you have to hide, like, these emails? Like,
this is the moment like, where the Ashley Madison comes in, because I'm like, so we're openly aware of the fact that we're emotionally cheating on our boyfriends and girlfriends, because then you see Tom Hanks and he is also emotionally cheating on
he waited for Parker Posey. How is Tom Hanks dating Parker Posey?
Count your lucky stars if you date Parker Posey, you son of a bitch.
She was,
first of all,
so fucking fun, that character.
I never thought of her like this, but like, she plays like rich snob so well. Did you watch the Mr. and Mrs. Smith TV show with Donald Glover and Maya?
Oh, yeah! Yes!
She was like on that, and I was like,
yes.
Oh my God, you're so good at this. And then she was Fiona in Josie and the Pussycats, where she's like, let's go be girls. And I just fucking love her, She's
a trip. She's her comedic timing. And then just when you thought she was only mean, you thought she was one dimension, she like kicks in some other thing that you weren't prepared for. And I was very entertained, but I did not believe, I was like, why are you all cupper? I believe Greg Kinnear and Meg Ryan, but like, Tom Hanks, stop.
It was weird.
Wait. I want to do a couple fun facts about the movie.
I want
both
them.
Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks didn't want to take these roles.
Oh, well.
Because they felt like they were getting like typecast, and this was
Tom Hanks felt that way? Damn, Tom.
Because he was being compared to Jimmy Stewart, and this movie is based off of another movie or a play called Shop Around the Corner, and Jimmy Stewart played that. And so Tom Hanks was like, oh no, I'm going to be this. typecast. And then Meg Ryan was like, I only do rom-coms. I don't want to be typecast. But then they both did it. And we were like, okay.
They did.
And then, did you know that Tom Hanks got Dave Chappelle basically hired? Because Dave Chappelle was going to be Bubba Gump and Forrest Gump. But he said no because he thought it was fucking racist. Oh. And then he was pissed because he was like, God damn it, Forrest Gump was Forrest Gump. I could have made that Forrest Gump money. And so Tom Hanks was like, hey, I'm doing You Got Mail. Like, let's hire this guy and coerce the director to hire him.
Okay.
Bizarre.
Here's my thoughts on Dave
So
Chappelle.
Bizarre. What a bizarre twist.
My thoughts on Dave Chappelle is that I think he, they'd be like, here's your script for today, Mr. Chappelle, and he would look at it and then toss it over his shoulder. And then I just convinced he ad-libbed a lot of his lines. Because I felt like some of the parts, I was like, oh, you're like doing stand-up now, bruh. You're doing like Dave Chappelle stand-up, which is really funny, but it's not fitting like the rest
vibe
of this movie.
No.
Like I hate to say it, but like, it's like he stands out a lot of times. And I'm like, this is so weird.
Well, he was too cool for them.
He was fucking cool. I know. I was like, Dave.
I was like, this guy
get out of here.
I was like, why is he friends with Tom Hanks? He was like too cool as the best friend. I was like, this. And he also kind of was eye rolling. He's like, so you're cheating on these people, and now you robbed her of her book store with her mother, and now you're gonna not tell her that you're actually the one talking to her. You fucking psycho. It's like Dave Chappelle gets it.
Dave understands the directions.
All right. I just wanted a sprinkle of the characters, and let's.
Well, guess what?
Go.
I want to sprinkle how Meg Ryan owns, a small business. We get it. It's a hustle. It's cutesy. We love it.
Oh, that was a cheese shop. It was a cheese shop in Manhattan.
Oh.
The owner was away, and they took all the cheese out, and they filled it with books.
Okay. I fucking love that.
Right?
Where'd the cheese go? Did they have
I don't know. It must have smelled so weird in there.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. The thing that I love is how we have to have obligatory small bookshop personalities as the employers.
Oh my
Bridget,
God.
this was like a Portlandia skit where I was like, am I watching Portlandia with the feminist bookstore? Because
Christina, Heather Burns
from Miss Congeniality. I was like, girl, who? What
and then Steve Zahn.
I fucking love Steve Zahn. Thank God you're here.
Who is the old lady? Do you know?
Her name is Jean Stapleton. She's been in shit.
She's super famous.
No,
too.
she's fucking been in shit. I was like, what are we doing?
Movie, the cast was like,
oh my God, she was
excellent.
Edith in All in the Family.
Yeah.
She's famous. What the fuck? Why didn't she have more lines? Oh my god. This movie, that's the drinking game. Is like, take a sip every time some fucking random ass, but also recognizable actor comes on the screen. And you're gonna be like, woo! In the first 10 minutes.
Pretty much.
Because it's, holy shit, it's a lot. I don't even know where we are. Tom Hanks is building this knockoff Barnes & Noble. This knockoff Barnes & Noble has like 40 floors.
Okay, they took a Macy's.
Okay.
Filled it with books. Something like 47,000 books. Built a coffee shop. 1998 money was like nothing back then.
What?
And then that's what they used. So it was like a department store size bookstore. I'm like, that's not. Once the internet comes out, no, this doesn't exist.
No.
Like, what? Wow.
All right, I'm so sorry to reference this, but I can't fucking help it. I thought of this so much. So, guys, Clerks, the cartoon series, I have referenced it before. I know you're thinking that has nothing to do with this. It actually does. Because they have an episode where the little, convenience store, there's a, mega convenience store that's built across the street. And I literally was like, oh my God, are they making fun of, You've Got Mail? Because it's like, oh no, they're going to put us out of business. And then they go in there and they're like, oh, this section is like a bookstore with its own coffee bar. And then if you go in the corner, there's a different coffee bar that's actually smaller. And then there's a couple extra books at the coffee bar, but then there's a separate coffee over there. And I was like, this is You've Got Mail. Like,
Yes.
I was like, oh my God, I did not realize
That's what they were like.
impact of this and like the shit they were saying, because like, I don't know, in 1998 I was young. You were in middle school probably, and
Yeah,
like,
I never thought about this movie.
we're not but we're also not thinking about the impact that Barnes and Noble had on like local bookstores.
Yes.
And I would
that
imagine
now, as you said, could be a
Yeah.
witch store, could be
Yeah.
anything, astrology store,
Yeah.
could be anything, and would
Right.
be packed now.
they'd be
It's
doing
just in a
good.
boomerang.
Yeah. That's all they fucking need. I mean, I love a Barnes & Noble, but, like, we're selling our soul, you know? It's just, like, it's a lot. And, oh, look at this note. I said, Jesus, I wish I took an edible for this movie. Oh, no.
Well, okay, let's do a little one thing, because if we go scene by scene, it'll be a lot. But I want to talk about Meg Ryan's character. Is that I feel like she was aloof a lot. She was very like positive and like la-di-da, but just kind of like floating by in her life, not really like making decisions in her life.
Yeah.
But I felt like she was a little stereotypical dumb, and I didn't like that.
Like how she's like, you destroyed my business, but like, let's hang out. I was like,
Yeah,
hey,
kind of.
the dating pool is not that bad. Come on.
Or just everything was like, we'll be fine, the store will be fine, and then she's like, what do I do? My business is under. And she's like, let me email my lover. You know, I'm like,
Yeah.
she's a fucking businesswoman. Like, can't she figure it out? I don't know. You know?
Well, and that's like a plot point is she writes to her email pen pal, how
Cannot.
she feels like she's too nice and she doesn't say what she really wants to say in the moment. And like, that's so hard for her. And like, she wishes she could just be like stern and stuff. And then like, there's one moment where she kind of is to Tom Hanks because he fucking deserved it every moment of the movie. But then she never is again. And I was like, I don't think that's development, but it's fine. We tried.
Wait. I think now is the moment we talk about the outfits.
Oh, God. Thank God you brought it up, girl. We had Diane Keaton outfits.
Can't we
here.
see Meg Ryan's neck? Why? There's so many fucking sweaters and turtlenecks.
It is fucking funny.
We can't even see her neck.
No.
It's so...
It doesn't exist,
She wore
Bridge.
This woman, in the peak of her 20s and 30s hottest body, wore oversized pantsuits.
She sure did.
Her entire career. It's like every movie cast her as the pure one, and so that's like cute, but I'm like, why can't we see her neck? I don't get it.
There were questions.
It was like Puritan, you know?
Well,
it was kind of like, ugh.
Give her a hat, you know? Yeah, I could see that. Bridge, I do want to talk about, there's this... maybe a subplot, or just, I don't really know, where there are children. Bridge.
Oh my god.
I literally, I was like the kid in the back of the class, like, hold on, I got my hand raised. Wait a sec.
Those were
moving
his
too
dad.
fast. I got questions.
His dad's children. Wait, what?
I was like, who the fuck are these
what's
kids?
the family tree? It's like Tom Hanks
This is some
has
Game
a
of
dad,
Thrones
and
shit.
his dad had kids.
Yeah.
And so but those kids are his uncle. So how did it become his uncle?
I couldn't even fucking tell you.
Because how can you
at
have
all.
your siblings?
I
Like,
couldn't tell you.
I can't have you, and then your Kate's aunt. That doesn't make any sense. You
I don't know, but they're like 9 and 6 or something. And I was like, now there's kids in this movie? Are you sure?
Well, because she's a children's bookstore, so they had to
whatever.
make that connection of like,
My God.
she knows things, and we only believe her because kids respond well to her. I'm like, honestly, she just read a book and was a normal fucking person.
And she wore a princess hat for a second, and we're all
I
gonna
was
move
like,
on.
I don't know if it was mind-blowing, but okay, we needed that plot. That was probably like just to the other movies plot or whatever.
But that's the moment where he doesn't reveal his identity.
Yes,
to her.
he's
he
sneaky from the fucking start.
He's very deceptive, not good. These are red flags. Okay. Yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry, this is a tangent. Have you ever seen that social media video where it's like, a picture of a hot woman, a picture of a hot guy, and they're texting each other. It's like a screen recording. And it's like, hey, so nice to meet you. Want to, like, you know, meet up? And it's like, want to meet up? Let's do FaceTime. And then it's two, like, ugly dudes that are like, that catfished each other. And then they start laughing.
Oh,
they
funny.
look at each other and they start hysterically laughing.
Oh my God.
And that's, like, to me, I don't know. I'm just thinking about, like, oh, really? Meg Ryan is really emailing Tom Hanks. Bitch, your first chat room?
Right.
That does not happen.
I mean,
okay?
we've all seen Catfish, MTV's Catfish. That's just not how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
It's not how the cookie crumbles, y'all.
Mm-hmm. I even told my husband that he catfished me when I first met him because his picture was from, like, 10 years ago. And I was like, dude, you're a good-looking dude. Why are you, like, using a young picture? That's weird. I know what your age was, you know?
We don't need the filters, you guys.
And I married him, so...
Oh, my God. Yeah, it's just, like, I don't know. The kids, like, aren't really in the movie, so I was like, I don't know why we need them, but it's fine. And now we met each other, and it's whatever.
Lot.
They end up at a fancy party... And this is where Meg Ryan then is told, oh, that guy that I met is actually the fucking dickhole who's gonna put me out of business. And she calls him out a little bit, where she's like, you didn't say you were. And he's like, I didn't lie. And I was like, red flag. He's a fucking red flag. So, can't own no accountability. I don't like it.
Another social media video is some guy that has an oversized red flag and just runs in the background. Have you ever seen that one? Oh my God. That's every time you're saying this, I'm thinking of this guy running.
I need it saved on my phone so I can use it at all times because it's just so many things are happening.
But he was very, and what I hated about his personality was he was so nonchalant about it. Like, God, what are you getting worked up for? I'm just runing your, like, life and generational business.
Right.
Like, take it easy. Hey, why don't you just relax? I was like, I hate him.
It's like, there were a lot of directions I thought the movie was going to go with him to, like, redeem some of that, and then it never did. And I was like, oh.
I think that was why the dad was there, is, like, you saw him dealing with, like, his insane dad, and, like, you know, Parker Posey was a lot. I think you kind of wanted to, like, feel pity on the people around him, but I still thought he sucked.
So I thought Meg Ryan's boyfriend was going to end up getting with Parker Posey because they were kind of schmoozy at this party, and I was like, okay, we love a wife swap. It's a whole, it's a whole TV show on TLC. But we don't do that, and instead, now there's scenes in the movie where the two of them, Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks, they keep, like, being near each other but not meaning to. And there's a fucking scene where she is in a little grocery store. Bridge, we have another famous fucking actor here. Do you know who this cash register person is? Because I screamed.
Oh my God!
It's
Sarah Ramirez!
Che Diaz! And just like that, Che Diaz is here.
Che Diaz turned Miranda into a lesbian.
It is happening. I was not prepared for that, and I was like, "Oh my God!" And they were on was it Grey's Anatomy? Was that the show?
Yeah.
Okay, this must have been before that, because I was like, there is no way you're this, like, weird cashier character who's yelling at Meg Ryan for standing in the cash-only line, and she only has a credit card. And then Tom Hanks has to, like, save the day. And I was like, I hate it.
Hated it.
Fucking weird.
Well, and their dynamic was, she was like, oh, you're such a jerk. And he's always like, I'm nice, but I win. Like, that's, like, their whole shtick.
He's like, I'll fix it with money. Wee! I'm like,
it's all these, like, attempted meet cutes where she's in 8 layers of sweaters and he's nonchalantly chatting in his, whatever.
Well, it's fun, Bridge, because the very next scene, that little girl who I thought was gone forever, and then I was like, God damn it, she's back, is singing a rendition of Annie, The Sun Will Come Out Tomorrow.
My God, that was the worst singing.
She sings the whole song. And I was like, it's cute, little kid singing, and then it kept going, and I was like, oh no, whose kid is this?
I felt kind of mean.
This has to be someone's kid. Kind of bad. No, this has to be someone's kid. There's no fucking way.
That will come out.
I was like, it's still going. Here, let's look her up right now.
I swear to God, though, I'm sure I did this for some parent when I was a child. I'm so sorry.
You didn't do it in a movie, though, so that's a win.
Thank God.
That's a fucking win, because, Jesus, I didn't even understand what the plot was. We're just seeing, like, the two of them celebrate, because this is where you start to realize, like, oh, this movie is, like, a passage of time, because they kind of, when they meet, it's, like, early fall, and then when they realize who each other are, it becomes like Thanksgiving. And then once we get past Thanksgiving leading into Christmas, that's when it turns into like Meg Ryan being like, I gotta try to save my store and keep it alive.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah. And so, yeah,
That's a
she
lot.
has Frank write an article about how giant corporations are trash. And I was like, that's correct, Frank. But then he hits on the news anchor.
Well, and
and so I was like, wait.
He just, there were so many lines where he, like, loved the sound of his own voice kind of thing.
Yes.
And you're just like, oh, you're
That's
an odd one.
He's
You're
gonna
an odd
love
character.
Twitter. I'm telling you.
That is such a great description. If you say, I'm like, Kate, how'd your date go? And you're like, he would have loved Twitter.
He loves Twitter.
I'd be like, I get it. That's
That's
a dynamic thing. I get.
You know who we're talking about. That's
Mhm.
right. I did think it was funny how Meg Ryan was like jealous of that though. I was like, Meg, you're like fucking cheating on him, girl. Like you're checking your email every 2 seconds. I mean, relax with the jealousy.
She couldn't care less about him.
But this is the scene where I don't know who suggested it, but it was Meg or Tom. But one of them's like, "Yo, let's meet up." And I referenced this before, but like, this is the moment if you're doing online dating where you're like, "All right, I gotta give myself a pep talk." Because
you can do it.
There's billions of things running in my brain, and this might be weird, and nobody likes being in weird circumstances.
Yeah.
And I liked how they had the setup though, where it was like she was like, "I'll be there first, and I'll have a book and a flower with me." And she, I guess, like didn't describe. I mean, they didn't like share pictures. That's another thing. They didn't share their names. They didn't share who they were or their jobs or anything. They were like, "It's we'll just like meet and that's how you'll know it's me." And I was kind of like, okay, it's like blind datey kind of, it's cute. But Tom Hanks brings Dave Chappelle with him, and that's a lot. And I was
That's
like,
a lot.
I don't know about that choice.
Well,
But-
and New York City is a little more like private in the sense that there's so many people.
Yeah.
It's not like people would know that you went and looked for someone on a date. I don't know. It's not as, like,
Yeah.
awkward.
And Dave Chappelle is being Dave Chappelle, and he's like, I think that's Meg Ryan. He's like,
Oh my
just
God.
fucking doing a bit. And I was like, oh my God. And I thought Tom Hanks, when he realized it's her, you know, she doesn't know it's him. He realizes it's her. I thought he was, like, legit gonna stand her up. And I was like, fuck him. Why do I like him? But this is where it's annoying. He technically doesn't stand her up, but she doesn't know that because she thinks she's still waiting for this guy, and he's like pretending like, who you waiting for? I'll just sit right here and blah, 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 and be annoying. And I was like, I hate it. The dishonesty. We're not playing a game of Survivor where we need to be weird and get immunity idols. We can just, like, chat, you know?
And you were thinking to yourself, well, he loves her, like, online personality, so you could tell he doesn't want to, like, give it up. But also, you're digging a deeper and deeper hole. Like, if Meg Ryan, as time goes on, learns all of his intricate decisions to deceive her for years and years and years, I'm like, dump him.
Yeah. Dump
Right?
his ass. And the
His
best
ass.
part is after this whole fucking shit where she's like, he's such a jerk, blah, blah. She goes to work and all of them are like, you got stood up. And she's like, don't say that. And then it turns into like Reddit conspiracy time where they're all, the girl's like, maybe he like got hit by a taxi. Maybe he broke his
He's in a
arms.
coma.
And then the fucking Steve Zahn is like, maybe he's this killer in the newspaper and he was actually in jail and he couldn't call you because he didn't know his lawyer and he gets one call. And I was like, this is the stuff I want. I want more of this shit. I want the theories. I want all of it. I want it.
Your
Like,
Aquarius is
just-
showing.
just give me all of that, please. But we don't get too much. It's just that. And yeah,
and they kind of just were like, oh, this guy, you know, he's always popping up, that jerky Joe, you know, and it's just like, okay, and it's getting creepy because I don't know about you, Katie, I've lived with best friends in New York 7 years. You never see them on the street.
No!
Ever. It's like,
I'm like, are they
insane.
fucking neighbors?
And
Like, what are we doing?
I'm like, okay, I get it. Your store's around the corner, but also, come on.
It's so weird. And then she like goes on AOL and she writes him a long soliloquy about her feelings. And then he does a bullshit apology that's not an apology. And
That was not an apology.
And she's literally like, that's good enough for me. Tee-hee, let's keep emailing. And meanwhile, her fucking store goes under. Like, right around this time in the movie.
Generational love, business ruined. Done.
She's like, I gotta close the store.
Her
and
dead mom.
Like, we're
She
sad.
has pictures of her and her dead mom dancing.
She's dead. And the store's dead. Everybody's dead. Everyone around you's dying, including the store. This is the Bridge, this is the moment I wrote the line that I thought was kind of sweet and hopeful. So I guess, like, she's with the lady Birdie. Her name is Birdie, which I don't know if I've talked about this on the podcast, but you know how when people become grandparents, they, like, pick random-ass names to be called?
Yes.
I met a woman once who's like, my name is now Birdie. And I was like, that's so fucking random, but I kind of love it. And I'm like, that might be my grandma name, for all I know.
I'll call you Birdie.
I might do it. We'll see. We'll see how I feel about birds at that point in my life. But they're at Birdie's house, and Birdie's like, blah, blah, blah. I'm actually really rich, and, like, don't worry about me not working anymore, and it's all fine. And, like, if you need money, let me know. And then, you know, she's like, I gotta close the store. And Birdie gives very psychological perspective where she's like, this is, like, really, like, this is a good thing. And she's like, it's a horrible thing. And she goes, you're daring to imagine that you can have a different life. And I was like, oh, that's, like, really sweet way to think of it. Where it's like, oh, it's not the end. It's, like, the beginning of something different for you and that you're going to be okay. And, like, thought that was sweet.
Yeah.
Love that.
And practical.
Yeah.
You know? Like, that was a very real moment. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, this movie is, I don't think it was even bad. Because it had these little pockets of, like, really good conversation like that.
But you know what we immediately go to then is a knockoff scary movie reference where we're in a movie theater and the two people are talking loudly and everyone's like, shh. And I just kept thinking of fucking Regina Hall being like, you shush. She was like, fucking
out of my face.
Out of my face. Yeah, I got you. You don't need a camera. Oh my God. I was like, is that what You've Got Mail's doing right now? But this leads to her and Frank, like, having a serious sit down. And I thought, like, Frank was going to dump her and then I was going to AOL, like, not AOL, I was going to LOL. But then they both are like, we actually both want to break up. And, like, now it's funny. And I was like, I don't hate that either, but, like, not what I thought.
I thought he would have been sad because of, like, his ego being bruised.
Yeah, no. Instead, it was like, yay, we're all, like, happy.
Twinsies, we hate each other.
I was like, oh, that's different. And then
it was, I do, you know, now that you're, like, laying this out, I'm like, they always had to be like, the thing you think it is, it'll be the opposite. Like, it had a little quirk, too. These little side stories.
Well, and then I thought, like, oh no, that's definitely not Meg's apartment. She's gonna get kicked out, and now that's another part. And then, no, Frank gets, like, he moves out, and I was like, there's Meg. Meg is gonna afford this brownstone. She's going from being a dink to single. Brownstone, and she doesn't have income. There's no fucking way. Nuh-uh. Not even in the 90s. I'm sorry.
All those turtlenecks gotta be expensive.
She's going to sell my Goodwill. Like, there's no way. Oh my God. I don't even know. And then, shortly after, Tom Hanks and Parker Posey break up. And I think he breaks up with her. We don't really see that scene, though. He's just like, I broke up with my girlfriend. Let me tell you in my AOL email.
She was kind of over him, too. Like, she didn't really care either.
Well, and at one point, she was like, oh, that, like, Kathleen lady, now that her bookstore is out of business, I might hire her because she's, like, a really great insight. And he was like, gosh, why would you do that? I was like, fuck off. Yeah. She's giving the woman income.
Yeah.
Back up. She's giving her purpose. What are you doing? Sending an email with typos? Get out of my face. Out of my face. Out of my face. That's what I wanted to do to him. Oh, Lord almighty.
Yeah, but it's kind of, you've followed the story, and you're kind of the whole time thinking, how is he gonna pull this? She's gonna be pissed at him, and when the movie's only so fucking long, and so like, I was like, when is he gonna admit he's the email dude, and then when is she gonna get mad at him, and then they're gonna have a sad period, and then it's gonna be like Harry Met Sally, where then she, he runs back in the rain, and it didn't, and that threw me off. That threw me the fuck off. I would be so pissed if I was her and not her reaction.
He literally, it's the last 20 minutes of the movie. He's like, all right, I'm going to randomly appear at her apartment that I found out where she lives and don't ask questions and I have flowers. And then he sneaks up there and he busts in and then she is like, I'm sick. And then he's like, just fucking gabbing at her and she doesn't kick him out. And I'm like, this is so
I like
annoying.
that phrase. It's
like,
just gabbing.
He's just
all right?
gabbing. Get him out of here. And I don't know. It's like weird. Like, I guess from there, it's like, now we're gonna hang out and be friends. And I was like, but why? Because he brought you flowers? Ugh, the bar's low. Bar's fucking low. People. Okay. It's really low. And they're going to farmer's market. And then the band, the hot dogs. It's fucking bullshit. And at one point, I thought he was on the Ocean Gate submarine because he's sending an email. And there's all these weird buttons. And he's like in a subclosed place, and it was just a stupid ass boat.
And we're forgetting about the side plot where his dad divorces some young lady who that. I couldn't even keep up with that fucking plot.
I didn't understand the point of that. I was like, so you're saying make sure you're careful who you marry? Like,
he's like, I gotta sleep at the boat again. Life is hard after the divorce. I was like, your boat? What?
Your boat. Hard life, bitch. Jesus.
But then the ending of them, him saying, okay, let's meet at the park, and, it's a nice day, and you'll see my dog, and then he shows up, and she smiles. I'm not smiling.
I'd give a slap, personally.
I'd be fucking pissed.
Full arm slap right across
a full
the face.
arm? Full?
Yeah. No. Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
No bend in the arm.
That's some Rihanna,
I mean, this was literally psychological warfare. Like, we don't use this term for adults, but, you could. It's like, I feel like he kind of groomed her, where he was like, I'm gonna get you to like me, whether you like it or not. I'm gonna lie to you, and I'm gonna influence you. I'm gonna get you there.
It was creepy.
I didn't like it.
I didn't like it either.
I literally wrote, I was like, is that the ending?
Yeah,
and
that was it.
It fucking was.
Disappointing. The whole movie was so good and intricate, and it was like they ran out of, they could have extended it 30 more minutes or taken out an hour.
What they should have done, Nora, is he should have came up to her and said, Nora, I was wrong and I ruined your business, and I am going to allow you to be in charge of the children's section in my store, and we're going to call it your name, and you're going to do whatever the fuck you want with it, and you can take all the proceeds that ever come from it, and it's going to be all you because you deserve that. Go team. But instead he was like, don't worry, I make money, let's make out. LOL.
Yeah, hated it.
And I was like, that's wrong.
He's like, I was nice to you for 3 weeks.
That's right. Yeah, so now we are in love.
Oh, me. Love.
Yes. Mm. Yeah.
I fucking can't. I can't. I mean, they had fun, witty banter, because Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks, but it was, I just was, so sick of his, casual, I'm so casual, but he's, clearly super in love and thirsty, and I'm like, well, nerd out a little, Yeah. It's annoying.
Uh-huh.
Well, okay, what'd you think?
Well, I didn't hate as much as I'm this was dumb shit.
It was okay. It didn't suck.
It didn't suck. I might watch it again.
It's okay.
With, I don't know. I'm not going to pick it myself, I don't think.
And we didn't talk about this a lot, but there's a lot of, nods to, the internet is bad. The internet is the cesspool.
Yeah.
Be careful of the internet. I was like, oy, 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 oy.
Yeah. There was a lot of that.
So that is a little weird. It's too on the nose, Kate. But people should pay attention to that, because that's kind of fun to see.
Yeah.
It humbles you, thinking that we have, new problems in the world,
Right.
For real.
Yeah, it's fucking true, man.
Okay.
Well, Bridge.
It's your pick.
It is my pick.
Ooh.
And we're not quite at October yet, which is the month
I was like, we're close to spoops.
I do peer pressure and push for spoops themes. But, okay. I'm gonna give you a choice.
Ooh, choose your adventure.
It's a choose your adventure. Maybe I'll give you 3 choices. You want 3 choices, Bridge? We're gonna do 3 choices.
Sure, no more than that.
Okay, that's 3. All right. I'm gonna tell you the genres. I have a horror movie.
Oh, God.
I have a children's movie.
Oh.
And then I have, I guess, like, sci-fi, but also kind of comedy?
Okay.
And the horror is from the 80s, and the sci-fi comedy and the children's are from the 90s.
Oh.
So, what do you think? What would you want to...
No horror, sorry.
God damn it, I'll get you next month, girl.
I was just going to say, we're going to do back to back to back. Just give me a moment for the spoops.
Okay.
Children's and then sci-fi comedy and 90s. Early 90s or late 90s?
They're both, like, spread out a little.
I'm thinking the sci-fi.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, I do want to also apologize in advance, because this technically is a listener pick. I don't have this person's name up in front of my eyeballs right this moment, because they made the request in not the typical... They did not fill out the form, but I'll forgive you. But I will reference you when we do this movie. Bridge,
okay.
This movie is from 1996.
Ooh.
It is PG-13. The reason I thought of this movie is because, like You've Got Mail, this movie is filled to the fucking brim with so many famous actors.
Ooh.
Like, we're talking double digits of famous people where you're like, that person's here, that person's here. What's happening? It's crazy. It is classified as, oh my god, these fucking categories. Alien invasion, dark comedy, parody, satire, space sci-fi, comedy, sci-fi. What? Those are... And I just read you the one sentence.
Wait,
Independence? Earth is invaded by Martians with unbeatable weapons and a cruel sense of humor. Period.
Is it Independence Day?
No, we did that.
Well, that's why I was like, Katie, we did that.
Bridge,
what is it?
We're gonna watch Mars Attacks.
Mars Attacks! I thought it was Martian something.
Okay,
Mars Attacks with the big heads.
Yes.
Oh my god, I haven't seen that in so long.
This was a listener pick from some man. He actually made the request through our Facebook page, and I said, that's awesome!
You.
Fill out the form! And then he never did. But I remember you, sir! Don't panic. I'll shout you out next time. Bridge, this is directed by Tim Burton.
Ooh!
Which is, like, so rare. Can I just read you off some people in this movie? Because it's insane.
Wow, I didn't realize.
Jack Nicholson, Pierce Brosnan, Sarah Jessica Parker, Annette Bening, Glenn Close, Danny DeVito, Martin Short, Michael J. Fox, Tom Jones, Natalie Portman, Jim Brown, Pam Grier, Jack Black, just to name a few.
My fucking god.
And that's a fucking few, because I'm telling you, there's more.
Insane.
It's so crazy.
Wow, okay. Wow, I'm excited now to see it. I thought it wasn't that good from my memory.
It might not be, but we'll have to see. I feel like it is very,
that sounds impressive.
I feel like it's the movie you do laugh at, but it, wants you to laugh at it.
Yeah.
It's, stupid on purpose.
Yeah, it's like we're not taking ourselves serious.
Yes.
Into the Sunday!
We're getting more aliens before the spoops, y'all.
Okay, that's a good warm-up. I like that to the spoops.
Yeah.
Okay, love. Great pick.
Thank you.
Thank you, Facebook friend recommender.
Well, Bridge, I just want to say... If, I don't know, you were emailing someone from a chat room, we're not doing the You Got Mail shit. I will stalk them online. I will find...
Absolutely.
I'll find out
There's no way this movie would exist.
Their name, their address, their phone number, their place of, employment. We're gonna figure it out, because we don't have time for that. We don't have time for that shit, and I would do that for you.
Wow.
And it would be helpful, I think.
It would absolutely be helpful.
Okay. Bridge.
Where do I start?
I don't know.
If your little bookstore around the corner,
Lord, my witch bookstore.
that you turn into a witch bookstore.
Absolutely
Some
would.
lion chat room slug tries to take you out. I am building a bigger bookstore around the corner and gonna put their bookstore out of business for your bookstore.
Fuck yeah! Let's go!
And I'll do that for you.
Coffee shop in the coffee shop in the coffee shop! Let's do it!
Birds and birds and birds.
Listeners, if you also
Sorry.
would support local bookstores if they sold witch shit, because, like, definitely
so
do
cool.
that. And if you think that, like, Tom Hanks, like, his character needs a slap in the face. Just one.
Oh, she said it.
Just one. And then we can excuse some stuff, you know. And if you think that, like, the drinking game for that movie should be drink every time you see someone famous. And then you're like, woo!
Yeah.
Having a good time.
Yeah.
If you think all that, you should write us a review.
Definitely.
We love reviews. We love written reviews. You can review us on Apple Podcasts, along with some other podcasting apps. And we also have a website, sisterswhoseenit.com. On our website, you can request a movie. So that's what Mel did. Mel went on the website, filled out the form, and she's done this literally 8 billion times, but this was one of them. Go Mel. And
Go
I wanted
Mel.
the other guy to do that for Mars Attacks, and he did it, but it's okay for now. But everybody else, please fill out the form, because your request will go on a list.
Yes.
We look at the list every now and then, and we will do it eventually. We will. And, Bridge, what else can I do on our website?
Give us money.
Woo!
We will build that bookstore around the corner.
We will.
Take out
There
Tom
it's coming up.
And, or you could just buy our merchandise, which we could sell in the bookstore that we use to take out Tom Hanks. And you should check that out because it's fun. And honestly, if spooky season's coming, then it's the holiday season. Go get your gifts now. Okay? Don't think too hard. Do it early. All right? Check it out.
Check your AOL mail, guys. Yes. And also, check all that out. And we hope to hear from you. I blacked out on that. Also, do something on the internet. It's taking over my brain. All right. Well, we'll see y'all next week for Mars Attacks. I just remember they go, like they talk like that. And it's like,
I feel
silly.
like I know nothing about this movie, so it's be interesting.
Boy, you're gonna have a time then.
All right, folks.
Wow.
See you later. Take off your turtleneck.
Oh,
Love
please
you.
do.
Bye-bye.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Sisters Who've Seen It. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our website at sisterswhoseenit.com, where you can email us, request movies to be reviewed, and keep up to date with all things sisters. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you next week.